You're watching Through the Looking Glass with Dr. Jenny Klein.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jenny Klein, and I've missed you, so I'm back with a new show for us all. It's about our feelings, fears, and fantasies, our pain and our pleasure, our problems and our solutions. It's a time for us to get together, talk things over, think things over, and find out that we are not alone. Perhaps then we can all help each other make this world and our lives just a little bit better. Did you ever try to please somebody, but no matter what you do, they're always complaining and you wonder what you did wrong? Let's take a closer look at just that issue. Hey, David, how are you?
Fine, Dr. Klein. It could be better, but I'm telling you fine, because I'm just tired of complaining. You know, can I ask you something?
Sure.
How much is too much?
When you feel it's too much.
Well, then I've been feeling it for years. Because
What's too much for you?
the marriage. I'm wondering whether I should stay in it, but this is my second marriage. And it seems like the same old thing. They want and they want and they want.
And you do and you do and you do, and they still want more?
Yeah,
Do they complain?
all the time. That's the problem. I mean, you know, I believe in appreciation, reciprocation. You know.
Do you really?
I do.
So if you have had two marriages and you've been trying to please them, have you been trying to please them?
I try to be the good guy. I try to do the right things. That's all I try to do.
And if you were good enough, they wouldn't complain, right?
No, they just don't recognize that I'm good enough. That's the problem.
They don't recognize?
Yeah. Seriously, they don't.
Why do you keep doing the same thing with the same type of people if you marry twice to two people like that?
You sound like my friend. You know what he said to me? He goes, why do you end up with takers? I said, what the hell are you talking about?
It's you who has to appreciate that you're good enough. But if you have a terrific imagination when you're a child, you'll imagine, if I were perfectly good enough, then Mom and Dad wouldn't complain about me. Did they complain about you?
Well, my mom, you know, let me put it to you this way.
Yeah.
No one could please my mom. Even my father couldn't please my mom.
But what did you do with that as a boy? What did you wish you could do?
Well, I tried to avoid her, but, you know, every time she asked to do something, I always did it.
You always
Always,
did it?
always.
And if you were perfect at it, she would stop complaining, but she didn't.
She never goes. You know, it's like my dad says. All
So
she
you
does is
married
complain.
two women under the same idea that if I were perfect, they wouldn't complain anymore. It's and logically, you know it's unreasonable.
But they weren't like that at the beginning. Explain that to me. Why, you know, I swear they were different people. I swear they were different people.
Well, they had that part in them. And in the beginning, when you're so pleasing, they figured, oh, I finally got that guy who'll totally please me all the time. And no matter what you ever did, they would keep complaining then. They weren't the way you met them the first time.
Yeah, but they didn't complain at the beginning. I thought I was doing the right things. I took them out. You know what I'm saying? I showed them a good time.
And that's why they
Nice
didn't
gifts.
complain.
Well, that makes no sense. Makes no sense. If I go to a restaurant and I have a good meal, I'm not going to complain about a good meal. These two would complain. I could never understand that either.
But not in the beginning.
No, not at the beginning.
Because they wanted to have you take them out, and you were a pleasing guy, and you'd continue. So they didn't complain in the beginning, but there's something inside of them.
But it doesn't happen with guys.
It changes.
It happens with women.
It happened with your mother.
What are you talking about?
You just told me. And you imagined up, if I was a really good boy, Mother would stop complaining. And so you took that as your mission.
You know, as crazy as that sounds, there's some truth to that.
And two wives, you're doing the same thing. And their need to complain is, well, if I dump on him, he'll try to please me more, and they have a different character. If you have a person that doesn't have this kind of structure.
But how do I find them? I just keep, I mean, even when I was dating.
Finding people like your mother, because you probably figured you failed because your mother kept complaining. So you want to get someone just like her, and somehow you can smell it, and you have a second and third chance to please your mommy and make her not a complainer. And you've done it twice. That's what you're telling me, and I'm just replying to it.
It's like my friend says, even a blind squirrel could find a nut. And I seem to find them. It doesn't matter. It just...
Well, if you didn't fail in the first place, kid, your mother wouldn't be a complainer.
But why do I feel
So
like
you-
I failed? That's the part that makes no sense.
It doesn't make any real sense. It makes imaginary sense. I imagine if I were perfectly good, mother wouldn't complain. That's an imaginary you.
Yeah, but that's not the way I'm thinking.
That's the way you're operating.
That's
It's
different.
Unconscious.
What are you talking about?
When we wish up, when you were a kid, what did you wish? If I was a perfect boy, mommy would be happy. And I can make her happy. But I have to do everything right.
Yeah, but I would get, straight A's in school. It still wasn't good enough. And you couldn't get more than that. Teacher was okay with it.
Yeah, but you weren't, because the real thing is that if I was really good enough in every possible way, my mother wouldn't be a complainer. So you sought out two complainers in two marriages
Yeah.
to finally be good enough, and you kept doing it, and she kept complaining, and you see, you didn't fail your mother, you didn't fail these women,
But I felt...
you failed
like-
yourself to get yourself off the hook that you have power to be so pleasing that other people's character would change. You're wrong.
Yeah, but
Their power is complaining, so the pleaser will go please.
Yeah, because I said, well, what are you complaining about? Didn't you? Is this what you asked for? And they'll say, yeah. And didn't I get it? And they'll say, yeah, but it's not good enough.
No. The fact is, if they have some other system that says no matter what I get, it's never good enough. So I'm going to complain and make people give me.
That's why I said, as anything I do is not good enough.
Their system and your system came together.
But how do I find them? What is, I want to stop. I want to
Yeah.
stop it.
You want to stop it.
I want to stop it. I'm tired of it.
Well, then you've come to the right place, because we're going to educate you. You're going to educate yourself about what system of imagination runs the complainers and what system of imagination runs pleasers like you.
There's got to be something, because it doesn't make sense.
Because those people are contracting. If I complain enough, I can make people please me 100% of the time. And you say, if I please 100% of the time, they will stop complaining. It ain't gonna happen. You got the wrong kind of people, hon.
Yeah, but common sense would tell you, most people would say thank you.
This is not common sense. This is what's running their personality and what's running yours. You're the eternal pleaser and they're the eternal complainer.
But how is it that I just keep, over and over and over?
That's what you wished up as a kid. If I pleased and pleased and pleased, my mother would stop complaining. And you couldn't make her do it, so you found some other complainers and kept trying.
Yeah, but why can't I let it go? At one level I know what you're talking about.
Yeah?
At one level.
Good.
But at some crazier level, I act differently.
The crazy level is the imagination that says, if I was a perfect pleaser, they would not complain. Forget it, because you can't change another person's personality. So the attraction is, I'm going to be a perfect pleaser, and the complainer says, if I complain enough, they'll perfectly please me. It's disaster.
It's been a disaster.
It is. But that's because you're looking into why.
Yeah.
This has roots in your childhood. This is not you other because what you couldn't do as a boy, you figured, well, I failed. Mother's still complaining I didn't please her good enough.
She's still complaining.
So you found two complainers to marry, and you're knocking your brains out. You're not going to change their system. You can only change yours. Perfect pleaser, you got to drop it.
It's not.
A person who loves you doesn't want you to knock yourself out like this.
Yeah, but then they would say, look, if you loved me, you would do this.
Well, if you love good enough, mother wouldn't complain. I'm sorry, that's not the child's fault that mother complained. She was like that before you were born.
Yeah. And my dad gave me advice. He goes, don't marry someone like your mom. Well, let me tell you now. And I wish I would have listened. And it's like, and I thought I didn't. I swear,
But you
I swear.
didn't know why you're doing it, because you thought, well, if I pleased perfectly, in your imagination you could be 100%, then they would not complain. Forget it. Because they have, if I complain perfectly, they'll please me perfectly. And I'll have to keep complaining to keep them pleasing me, as if they're controlling you.
Yeah, but did they find me or did I find them?
You found each other.
It was like a magnet, I swear.
It's like a magnet with two poles. One's
Yeah.
the complainer, one's the pleaser.
That's crazy.
And, well, it's crazy. It's just what a kid's imagination, when they're powerless over mother's complaining, they imagine if I please perfectly, mother would be different. I'm sorry, you can't make another personality different. I'm in the business. I can't make yours either, but you can. You can
Yeah.
make yourself different.
Because somebody told me, said, well, why don't you treat the woman like you treat the guys? Because guys, trust me, I don't please the guys, that's for sure.
No, well, that's not the one you had the trouble with. You had the trouble with your mother, not your father.
Yeah, my dad was okay. My dad was easygoing.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, you know, they say I'm a lot like my dad when I think about it.
Well, yeah, so you figure that's how you got to be with your wives, like you were with your mother as a boy. You're very smart to get this so quickly.
I mean, I'm picking it up, but why do I continue? That's what I'm saying. I'm
Because-
seeing stop signs and I'm going right through them.
Because in your unconscious mind, which is 90% of your brain, that's where that imaginary solution resides. And it drops down on you. You should please, you should please. At 400 million synapses a second, which is the gap between the wires of your brain, the neurons. Your consciousness only operates at 12 to 14,000. So fast you run, she complains, you run and get it for her.
Yeah, but you think I would know better. I mean, my dad was an example. I said, I never wanted to live a life like his.
Well, I'm going to be the perfect pleaser and mother will stop. Daddy didn't do it right. I'm going to do it better.
Never thought about it that way.
Okay, but you're thinking about it now.
Yeah.
So you have to know that everybody has someone they imagined up that has more power than they really have. Over certain things. Like I can't change the tides, but I could imagine I could. I can't change a disease, but I can imagine I could. I can't change. There are lots of things that are beyond our power, but not beyond our imagination. Because that's imaginary me, that's 100% powerful like God. And we wish it up as a child, so mommy wouldn't complain. But she kept complaining, so who failed? You think you did. So who do you try to please? Complainers, twice in a row.
But you know the weird part, they don't necessarily complain in a way, it's not a yelling, it's almost like they're disappointed.
Did you ever look at your mother's face, looking disappointed? She didn't get what she wanted?
She does to this day. I got her a Christmas gift and she goes, I don't
If it isn't verbal, it's in the face.
Yeah.
Children notice that.
Yeah.
If I go like this, you'll say, is she angry at me? Or if I go like this, you'll say, is she disappointed in me? You don't have to say a word. The face will show it.
Yeah, but it was really weird. I said, do you like it? She goes, I said, well, do you like it?
So that means I wasn't good enough, whatever I did.
I don't know. I didn't feel good about her not responding. I mean, she responded, but not responded. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but I don't want to give him too much credit because he won't please me next time. He has to keep reaching.
Then why'd she say it'll be fine? But her face didn't say it was
So
fine.
you can keep trying to make it finer and finer and finer. And keep you going. Not in
Yeah.
the beginning of a relationship.
No.
But just till she gets you hooked and find out you keep trying to please, then
You know, I found out that fine means a different thing. Fine doesn't mean fine. Fine means not good enough.
right,
But I didn't know that.
fine.
Yeah. See?
Just like I said.
Yeah, I don't even like what you just said.
I know.
It bothered me that you would even say
I
that.
was just doing that. Yeah,
Oh,
fine.
okay. Yeah,
Which means
exactly.
it isn't.
Yeah, see your eyes, you see the same thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to say a word. The facial thing will trigger that perfect self inside and say, you see that really wasn't fine. Try better. Try harder.
Yeah, and inside my head I'm going, I should have gotten the other
I
thing.
shoulda.
Yeah.
That's the language. The tyranny of the shoulds, someone called it, a theorist. And Karen Horney called it that. The tyranny of the shoulds. There's an imaginary, perfect, infinite self that no limits of imagination that says, you, the mortal, should have known that wasn't good enough. That wasn't fine. So you failed. And so she's still complaining. And it's your fault.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, but I
You're
always
thinking
go through
wrong
these
your
shoulds. I
whole
said,
life
see,
since mother, so you followed it with 2 wives, doing the same thing you did with mother, and nobody explained it to you. People don't understand that.
yeah, but why didn't anybody say anything?
Most of them don't know why,
We went to marriage counseling. I didn't hear the person say much about that.
unfortunately.
Yeah. I don't even know why I went.
When you went to marriage counseling, marriage counselors are just people. They have to understand this stuff, and if they didn't learn it, I learned it when I was 22. I got 3 degrees. They didn't teach it there. I brought it with me. It's you know, you can read Karen Horney and Ted Rubin, and I'll give you my book, How to Get Free. And what happens is that it's not taught.
Yeah, all they said, well, you need to change your communication pattern. So, like, what?
Well, you're smart because you kept looking for answers, so now we're sitting here.
Yeah, I mean, I tried some of the things, but it's still, guess what?
No. If you don't understand that their system is, my power is to complain, which makes others please me, and aren't I powerful? I'll never give it up. And your power is to please. Your imaginary power is, if I please enough, mother would stop complaining. Forget it. That doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's like oil and water. It doesn't work. And you think that's what you should do. And they think, if I keep complaining.
Yeah, but each time I do something, I think, oh, this is the one. This is going to make the difference.
No, this just proves that all they have to do is complain and you'll reach a little harder. And you'll do a little better. And they'll say, fine.
Yeah. Jesus. It's like I'm rowing a canoe without a paddle. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but you're a curious guy, and as hard as you tried to please a complainer who maintains complaints to have you keep pleasing, it's impossible. As much as you tried that, at least you tried to understand. So you came, and you didn't get it from the marriage counselor, so you're getting it here.
Yeah,
Does this make sense to you?
I asked her to come, and she started complaining about coming. I said, you know what? I can't take it anymore. I'm just going to go.
She has a history just like you do. And somewhere or other, she found that that's her power, to complain.
Yeah, because I'm almost backed out. Because she started complaining. And I said, well, maybe I shouldn't do it. But you know, I just said, forget it. I can't take it anymore. I have to talk to somebody because
her system and your system are tragically attracted to one another. You change your system, it's over. You don't have to continue to do this. And if you do, you're screwing yourself. You really are.
yeah,
You're not helping her at all.
No.
She's addicted to complaining and you're addicted to pleasing.
Yeah, but I've seen, like my dad was in there forever. I was wondering why he didn't jump ship. Because I always, I said, I'll jump ship. Well, I jumped ship on the first one. Guess what? Same ship, second time.
Same ship, second time, and you figured you got to be like your dad and please and please.
Yeah, but I didn't know that.
Well, that's right. But nothing ever changed, did it?
No,
No matter what your daddy did.
no. That's what I'm saying. When they say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I'm saying,
The more you please, the more she complains. The more she complains, the more you please.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
yeah, it's a vicious cycle. And and it's like, I think I'm doing the right things, but I'm starting to find out. No.
You're feeding a different self. That's an imaginary, infinite self that if I'm infinitely complaining, I'll be infinitely pleased. And if you're infinitely pleasing, she'll change.
Yeah.
No. You don't change another person's character. I'm in the business. I can't change yours. I can explain it to you. I can hear it. And I can explain it to you. But you're the only one that's going to be tugged and pulled from a boyhood wish to stop your mother from complaining by pleasing the same way your father did. And that's in your brain. You have to practice not doing that.
But it's the weird part now, I think what you're saying about, it's both sides are insatiable. Hers, you can't, there's
Right.
not enough.
And you're pleasing.
Right, it's not enough. I mean, it's like,
Insatiable means it's an imaginary absolute, which you can't reach, and then you hate yourself for not being successful in stopping mother's complaining, or your wife's.
and what's crazy is what you're saying is making sense, but I don't operate that way.
Well, you didn't understand how the mind works. Nobody teaches us this, and the marriage counselor didn't understand it either. So with all due respect to whoever the hell she is, but the point is that this is how it is. When you're little and powerless, you imagine up a power. And there's no end to that imaginary self. It goes down into your unconscious mind, and it says, I'm going to complain now and he'll please me.
So it's like the same play, different characters.
And yours is the opposite.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like. It's like, here I am again.
Here you are again.
Yeah, I swear, it's like waking up, it was like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
You know, every day is Groundhog Day. And I'm thinking, I got to get out of this. This is ridiculous. You know?
That's right. But you're smart enough to come to understand something that, you know, if it wasn't helpful, you continue to look for an answer here. And your answer lies in your history, so does hers.
But why did it take so long?
Because you're busy trying to do the first belief you had, if I pleased enough, my mother would stop complaining.
Yeah, man, but this is years. We're not talking, you know what, you think you'd be wise enough after the first one.
No, you just had a chance at bat. You failed to hit a home run the first time, so you got someone of the same pitcher, and she pitched a complaint, and you got up to another chance at bat because you failed. So this is not your failure.
That's crazy. It's just, I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Because that was the motivating force. It didn't, in the beginning, it doesn't show up, but, you know, because of being nice and whatever. But the fact is, you just had another chance at bat.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. And if you find a complaint, you're going to say, oh, that's going to trigger, I should really please them. I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, because
You're going to have to argue with yourself.
Yeah, because when a guy complains, I snap. I don't know what it is. I just, you know.
Well, you're not used to that. Your father was a pleaser. He wasn't a complainer.
Yeah, but when women, it's like, well, what can I do? Is there something I could do to help you with this? Or, you know, I'm thinking, why am I doing that?
Because if you're a perfect pleaser, you can stop your mother from complaining and this person from complaining. And she knows if she complains, she'll get a pleaser to help her.
But it's funny, the employees at work say, you know what, you treat guys differently, you treat women. You don't treat us all the same. And now that I think, and I don't.
Your dad wasn't a complainer.
Yeah, and I don't.
No.
I know.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I just.
Well, you're learning an important thing about yourself. What you set up in your head. If I please, you know, a little kid says, gee, if I did this right, Mommy would be different. No kidding. You can't change your mother's personality. You can only change your own. And you got to go back in history and see what the hell did you expect of yourself? What did you wish up? Well, if I was a perfect pleaser, mother wouldn't be complaining. I said, so you married two women, just complainers.
But this is crazy, this roots thing. I mean, now that I'm, you know, because that's what I'm thinking of, roots, and I'm thinking of, if I know what the roots are, then what sprouts from those roots basically is going to give me the formula, the blueprint of why I am the way I am.
That's right. These are the roots.
Yeah, but nobody told me that.
No, well, they don't go to the roots. They just do what they can do. That's why I do a lot of training, because it's sad they don't teach that in school. I went to school for 3 degrees. They didn't teach it there either. I brought it with me. I learned it when I was 22 from a guy I talked to, who taught it to me and gave me the books to read. But that's...
There's like an aha moment, you know? All of a sudden it's like,
Good. You're a bright guy. Listen, we're going to talk next week. I want to hear the
Well, I'll be back.
arguments that goes in.
I'll be
okay?
back. Oh, yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Oh,
Good
wait,
for
sure.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I want to thank Eddie Nieves, Dr. Eddie Nieves. How are you?
Good, good.
Good. And where are you a counselor?
Oh, I'm a counselor, but also I'm the chair of the Department of Academic Enrichment at Kutztown University in Kutztown,
Wow.
Pennsylvania.
Wow, you must, I'm so happy your students know you understand this for a long time.
It helps.
Yeah, it helps. Well, that's great. Okay, and you have private patients, Sandler?
No, not at this point.
No, not at this point. Okay. Well, you got a lot of students, I'm sure.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you very much, Eddie.
You're welcome.
And I want to thanks Eddie Nieves for doing that wonderful show. It was great. And it's totally unrehearsed, by the way. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for listening and for watching and for your letters and saying hello and bopping around town. And, you know, your questions and comments are important. Your ideas for shows are important. So just drop me a line, get a pencil, and you'll see it in the credits. It's 908-722-2933. If you have a question, feel free to call me at any time or go to my website, drjennyklein.com. You can also see the show on YouTube these days, since my friend Kaz Bielan from Premier Media has put it on there, since I'm not technical at all. And just be real good to yourself and take care of yourself and your real human self. And we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Dr. Jenny Klein would love to hear from you. Email her, jennyklein@gmail.com, or give her a call at 908-722-2933. If you'd like to see more, feel free, just go to drjennyklein.com.